Hi everyone, this is Noah Sandler for Mtgo Academy, and I'm going to be doing a DTK84 today. Okay, so there's two rares in this pack. There's a Odyssey, which I think is one of the best cards in Dragons. It's monocolored, so yeah, compared to some of the Dragon Lords and all. Excuse me. Um, and what's interesting about it is if you compare it against basically any other card in the set, it actually works quite favorably. Um, if you compare it to like Dromica, Silumgar, Atarka, Sidisi grabbing a Reach of Shadows, basically can like trade straight up or beat just about any other card in the set. And that's not how you should be, deciding which card's better. But I think it is a way to kind of explain how powerful it is. And sometimes you'll just be getting your own dragon yourself. So anyway, really good card. Not something I'd really ever consider passing. But we're passing a couple good blue cards, a Twin Bolt, and Saptooth Outrider. So we're passing blue and red, and this pack's very strong. There's Silumgar's Command, which is very powerful. I've had a lot of success with this card in Limited. There's Draconic Roar, which leaves you a little bit more open. But with this DC, we'd really like to be black, so I wouldn't really mind jumping in for the command. I do think it's a decent chunk more powerful than Roar. We're also passing a couple more good blue cards, Misshoof Kieran. So we might have to fight a little bit for blue-black, but these are two really strong first picks worth fighting for. And there's a Ruthless Deathfang. I think it's time to just move in. If something crazy happens, we could try to get out of blue, perhaps. But Deathfang is really strong. Sidisi grabbing Command or Deathfang is going to be a really powerful play. So once we take it, we pretty much have like the late game top end of our deck taken care of. So I would just want to pick up some Palace Familiars, good removal, some card draw, some good early blockers, a few more exploit creatures, and maybe another bomb or two if we get lucky. But I mean, this kind of handles the late game power aspect of the deck, and it's definitely enough more powerful than Scribe. And yeah, I think we're kind of just getting fed the blue-black exploit deck, or blue-black bombs, whatever you want to call it. Silumgar's Scorn or Butcher's Glee. We do have a dragon. I don't really know how good Scorn is. Like how many dragons you need before it gets very good. How effective the Force Spike ability is. But it's probably playable. It's something I would consider picking here. I do think I will just take Butcher's Glee though. Big fan of the card. It doesn't work well with our start currently, but I plan to take some cheaper spells. And it's mostly an improved Necrobite, which was a reasonable card to begin with, and then gaining a bunch of life makes it a lot more powerful. And we'll take an Anticipate here over another Glee, Reckless Imp, Dutiful Tenant. So Anticipate gets a lot better the more bombs you have, so you just get to search for them. If we search for Sidisi or Command, yeah, any card draw improves. So no early creatures yet, but yeah, I mean at this point we can just focus on taking them, so it can survive the early game, get to the late game, and yeah, it's a good place to start a draft off. There's a Skywise Teachings. I'm a relatively big fan of the card. I think it's quite good, but given our start, while it does fit well in with Anticipate, and we've got a few non-creature spells already, I'm just going to take Ojitai Interceptor, because I think our late game is going to look strong enough that we don't need to take like a a 4-drop that doesn't affect the board. I'd be concerned about maybe getting run over too quickly, and Interceptor is very solid. We want to pick up some earlier creatures, stuff we can trade off early, and it could also be a finisher as well. There's Contradicts, Reduce in Stature. I think this is going to be a really good spot for Reduce in Stature. So the card is fine. Sometimes it'll act as just 3 mana removal, and sometimes you play it and they exploit the creature, so it's not quite as good. And things can happen, and it doesn't get rid of the abilities of the creature. So it's not the best form of removal you can get, but if we just want to stall our opponents down and not get beat down early, I think it does a good job of that. And I think we'll take a Dutiful Tenant here over Negate. I think running 1 Negate main is fine in this format, and it's definitely good to pick up for sideboard as well, but I think a Tenant could be key if we do get some more exploit creatures. And with the Death Fang, we probably want to pick up some exploiters. Also, it works well with CDC. Give us something good to exploit with it, and then maybe get back CDC if it dies. Okay, there's Gurmag Drowner, Ojutai Summons. Those are both quite strong. And considering they tabled, first pick this a DC. So yeah, a little surprised. I mean, with how open blue has been, I guess I'm not too surprised. With how the deck is right now, I think Drowner's the pick. I usually prefer Ojutai Summons, but I just want like lower drops, stuff that blocks well, and I think we do want some exploiters for the Death Fang. So just take another 5-drop. I don't want to get the deck too clunky, so I want to start by taking cards that are a little lower the curve, and they give us more room later on to take the clunkier stuff. So here's between Shamley Goblin and another Drowner, and I'm just going to take another Drowner. I don't think we're so clunky that we can't take a second here. At a certain point, I may want to get something like a Shamling Goblin over the Drowner, but this is just our 3rd exploit card. We have a Dutiful Tenant so far, but the Impulse ability is really strong for finding our other bombs. We'll take a Mind Rot here instead of hating Opinion Feast. Mind Rot's fine playable and good sideboard card too. Take a Grave Purge and Ancient Carp. Purge gets some more value running Drowners and CDC. But with how open Blue-Black was in the first pack, I'd imagine we'd have enough playables that we won't end up running Purge in the main. But for a really grindy matchup, I would definitely want to side it in. Okay, here there is a Minister of Pain, Anticipate, and Ojutai Interceptor. And I think this pick is pretty close between all 3 of these. As I said, Anticipate gets better the more bombs you have to search for. And Interceptor is very solid. And generally I think is a higher pick than Anticipate. And then Minister of Pain, it does block better earlier than Interceptor, and it's another exploiter for Death Fang. So yeah, this pick seems really close. I'm kind of leaning Minister because I do want to make sure that I have some early defense. And another thing is that Blue's been so underdrafted, I feel like if I ship Anticipate and Interceptor, I might get one of them back. And if not that, Dance of the Skywise, which is fine, though again I feel like I'm going to end up with enough playables. I don't need to play cards that are marginal, so I'm going to take the Minister here, but not the most exciting first pick. I also feel like I might get cut pretty hard this pack, because the first pack was pretty overflowing with blue and black. Hopefully not, So here there's Encased with Ice, Sight Beyond Sight, Defeat, Palace Familiar, Hand of Silumgar. So a lot of good cards for us, and I think I just want the Palace Familiar just set up for these exploit creatures we have, give some early defense. I do like Sight Beyond Sight quite a bit, but we've got a lot of card draw already, and Hand of Silumgar also good, but we just want the card that takes advantage of the exploit. Okay, there's an Anticipate, Coat with Venom, Silumgar Butcher, Evolving Wilds, and Kulligan's Command. You could try to splash something, but I think we're going to end up with enough playables and a powerful enough deck that we don't need to. I think it's between Anticipate and Butcher, and I think it's pretty close, but I think we've got Palace Familiar, Dutiful Tenant right now, so I think Butcher is going to be a little bit better. The value of Anticipates for this deck at this point is probably going to stay about the same. Where Butcher, because it's a 5-drop, because it's another exploit creature, like the value of taking it at this point goes down a little bit. Because if we get past future Butchers, they're going to start to get a lot weaker. Where, taking Anticipate doesn't really hurt our curve at all. But I will take the Butcher. I would like to get at least one. And we've got Sight Beyond Sight, Sidisi's Faithful, Glee, and Marsh Hulk. So this is between Sight and Sidisi's Faithful, and I think we just want the Sidisi's Faithful. It goes well with the Death Fang is another just cheap creature you can exploit, and is an early blocker. So while I think Sight Beyond Sight is a more powerful card, I think we're going to have enough card draw already, and I'd rather just make sure we can shore up the early game. And here, like Silumgar Monuments over Marsh Hulk and Contradict. I like all the monuments. I mean, they're all the same, basically. I think Silumgar probably has some advantage over the others, just because it's in a more controlling color, so it helps you ramp to your 5-drops, and then can finish off a game late. So, I guess it also fixes, but not too important for a 2-color deck. And some nice green and red here. This is between Tomb Shell, Custodian, Ojutai's Breath, and I think we want the Tomb Shell just for good blocker. It's pretty nice against the like green-red decks that play Stamping Elker type cards, so a lot of 5-power creatures can hold off. And again, we just want to slow the game down so we can draw our bombs. Here, don't really want Tag 'em Strike in this deck. Deadly Wanderings is interesting. Could actually be a good deck for it since we've got so many exploit creatures. I haven't played with the card. I played against it and it was pretty good. There's also Virulent Plague, okay sideboard card, Contradict, which would be fine. Contradict actually looks pretty good here, and then Sadist, which is fine. I think I'm going to take the Wanderings. Let's see, we're 11 creatures. We have a lot of exploit creatures. I'll just take the Contradict. Maybe I should get a little riskier there, but alright, we'll take Updraft Elemental. So a lot of green coming through in this pack. Hopefully someone to our right is in a lot of green. We're going to get a sick pack 3. So we got the Dance to the Skywise back, some sick Icebreakers. I don't think we really want combat tricks in this deck beyond something good like Butcher's Glee, so I'm just going to take Icebreakers in case we want another reasonable creature. We got Encased in Ice back, it's great, sideboard card. We'll take a Duress, didn't end up with any negates, so that could be good for sideboard. So pack 2, a lot weaker than the first pack, but we still filled out our curve a little bit. We took that one Butcher, it was the only one we saw, so I'm pretty happy about that. And yeah, I think we're going to get a ton of playables in pack 3. So I'm looking for Jeskai Sage, Sultai Emissary, reach of shadows, and then just any bombs we can get. Powerful pack. There's Master of the Unseen, Pyrotechnics, Whisk Away. So I think I take Master of the Unseen, can maybe splash it. Even on the splash, I think it's a little bit more powerful than Pyrotechnics. Though with Sidisi, I think Pyrotechnics is probably a little better. Be able to search for Pyrotechnics. Like if you're splashing Mastery, like searching for it, we're probably not going to have double white up, so we're going to have to spend a turn to cast it and then a turn to start flipping. So I could see Pyrotechnics being a better splash card. Mastery is also relatively unbeatable, like against us, but I'm not too concerned about hate drafting. So let's see. Pick seems close, but I think I've convinced myself into taking Pyrotechnics. Even though I feel like Mastery is probably a little bit better in general. I think it's going to play a little better on the splash. So there's Bathe in Dragonfire, Alesha, Jeskai Sage, Right into Being. So interesting pick. I think Bathe is going to be better than Alesha. Though Alesha's like pretty good on the splash. Its ability can get back Gurmag Drowners, Palace Familiar, Dutiful Attendant. That's pretty cool. Minister of Pain. But there is a Jeskai Sage, which is kind of what we want. And then Bathe in Dragonfire would be a great removal spell to pick up. I think I take Bathe and just really focus on getting some fixing, because Bathe plus Pyrotechnics makes a really nice splash. And I think it's worth the risk here of maybe not ending up with any fixing and passing up on a Jeskai Sage, which would be great. Okay, Dousing Gloom, pretty easy. Nothing else here. Another Dousing Gloom over Lotus Path Jhin. Okay, got a Bloodfell Caves for the red splash. Good news. Passing up on High Priest, Enhanced Awareness, and Assassin. And Sultai Emissary over Whisk Away. So this pack went quite well. We picked up a ton of removal. Still some chance, I think, of getting a little more fixing. Like one more dual land would be fantastic. There is Renowned Weaponsmith, Cunning Strike. I'm not interested in splashing Cunning Strike in a deck like this. We're gonna have a couple Dousing Glooms. Like we don't care about the 2 to the face. I think I'll take Renowned Weaponsmith. We could play it. It does let us cast and activate the Silmgar Monument, and then we could maybe play the Vile Dragonfire to grab with it. And Dismal Blackwater, great. So picking up second fixing land means that our red splash is pretty reasonable. We've got a good amount of card draw. We can Sidisi to grab Pyrotechnics. So yeah, I did expect to get a good pack 3. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Let's Hate a Whisper. I'm definitely going to consider the Vile plus Weaponsmith. So this is tap, pay 1, search the library for the card, reveal it in your hand, shuffle your library. And it's a 1/3 for 2, which is okay in an exploit deck. But putting in Weaponsmith and Vial does take up 2 slots in our deck, and our deck is already going to be pretty tight as it is. Also, with the Dousing Glooms, Pyrotechnics, Bathe, we've got a lot of removal for small creatures anyway. But I do like how it works with the Monument. Be able to give you 2 mana, so it only costs 4. Could cut Tomb Shell. Or you just cut Vial, Weaponsmith, and run this. It's pretty annoying if we do draw the Vial, though that card's fine on its own. It's not really what we want, but being able to search it up for free seems kind of cool. So I think I'd like to make room, but it is going to be a bit tight. I think maybe Reduce in Stature or Butcher's Glee could be cut, Tomb Shell could be cut, and beyond that I wouldn't be too happy with the cuts. So it might just have to be these 2. I'm pretty sure I want to go 18 lands. It could be 17. We've got 1, 6. Like, we're 3 colors, so 18 helps out a little bit with the mana costs. We've got a few 5s, some 4s, a lot of 3s. Yeah, maybe we can go 17. So get in Weaponsmith, Vial, and then just cut Tomb Shell. Yeah, I think this is good. Just depending on the matchup, we could definitely want the Tomb Shell. And Encased in Ice also is fine to the main deck. I mean, don't have any looting effects. I think I'll just leave it on board. So I think just 2 mountains plus caves, so 3 sources for the red, and then just some card draw that can help out. And for blue, 1, 2, let's see, black, 1, 2, it's 8 sources, that seems right. Blue, 7 sources, I'd like 8. So make that 8, and then that's 40. So I think this looks good. And I've got a lot of room to make changes for board. For some matchups, Reduce in Stature might not be great, like against another exploit deck. If opponents don't have too many 2 toughness creatures, I'll just cut the Weaponsmith plus the Vial, but it seems kind of cool here. And the deck does kind of want another just reasonable 2-drop to exploit or block for a little bit. So I'm going to submit this, and I'll see you for round 1. Hi, welcome to round 1. So this hand is fantastic. We're going to keep this. We've got perfect mana, Palace Familiar, plus a tenant that could grab it. We've got a lot of exploit creatures in our deck that we could draw. Draw and anticipate, so we can search for any exploit creature would be good. You can get a nice life swing off Douse on the free. But of course I'd rather kill a morph. We can go for a Minister and just try to block. Could prevent more damage than going for Douse. I think that's what we want to do. And I'll attack with the Palace Familiar. Opponent has another morph and pass, so it worked pretty well. There's a Drowner, and they're stuck on 3, so they could have been a Tarko Freed, but we've got a nice play. We just drown the Palace Familiar. Then we've got 2 nice blockers against our opponent who's mana screw with a bunch of 2 power creatures. So this is what our deck wants to do. So we're going to stack these triggers, so we're going to draw the card first, and then we get the information from the first card that we drew to decide what to use Drowner on. And I think we're going to take City C. Card's pretty good here. Dropping Glee 2 Swamps. And we'll pass. This should be a hard game to lose. Don't play Sabertooth Outrider. So we'll go Sidisi and then sack the Minister. We've got a choice of either, well, a few choices. Sandler's Command, Ruthless Deathfang, or Pyrotechnics. And I think Pyrotechnics is going to be best to be able to take out Outrider in one of the morphs. Okay, Backwater. Alright, we'll go Pyrotechnics, and as far as which morph to kill, not really sure. I think they're relatively identical as far as what we've seen from opponent. I guess we could just kill both of the morphs and leave the Outrider. And then I guess we could douse the Outrider at some point, where if we leave the wrong Megamorph, it could turn out to be like a 6/6 or something. Yeah, I think I've convinced myself for that. So we killed, Hidden Dragon Slayer and Stormcrag Elemental. So both of those were really good. And definitely better than killing Outrider. If the opponent drew Plains and killed our Sidisi, that would be devastating. Opponent has a Gore Swine. So Dutiful Tenant seems really good here. Then I think we go Monument, Anticipate. Could hold up Douse and Gloom, but I think we're safe this turn. A Tenant is going to hold off the Swine pretty well. And if opponent wanted to use a trick of some type to kill Sidisi, we could use a Tenant to grab Sidisi back. Another Gore Swine. So opponent still has 3 spells in hand, but I think we've really got control at this point. So there's a Butcher, Bathe in Dragonfire. So we could Butcher away the Attendant, get back Minister of Pain, and then Minister to kill both of his Gore Swines, and then we could attack with some of our guys. Seems pretty good. Could also Bathe and just kill something, but I like getting Minister back. It does mean we can't get our CC back eventually, but I think that's okay. Lets us put a lot of pressure on opponent. Opponent could have a coat here, but I think we send with both. So opponent's at 12, 3-turn clock for Monument, and then Sidisi will give us some more pressure. Especially backed up with Douse and Gloom, could make a double block rough for opponent. Sig Muck Draggers, getting back the 6/6, or 5/5, but becomes 6/6 when Megamorphed. And yeah, opponent holds back. There's Death Fang. We've used up most of the Exploit creatures in our deck. So what do we want to do? 3, 4, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. So yeah, let's make an attack with Sidisi here. Play Death Fang. We can douse if opponent wants to make some blocks. Alright, this should just about do it. So that's probably the Stormcrag Elemental, but it's really slow here. So it's a Kraken with the Monument. And I think we just send everything. I don't think opponent has sufficient blocks here. They've got to block Sidisi, the Butcher, and they still take 10. Okay, they concede, so we're facing a red-black deck, splashing Hidden Dragon Slayer, which is very good against us. They've got a lot of X1s and high power creatures. I think Custodian would be very good here, and the Wandering Tomb Shell too. So like 2/5 seems perfect against a lot of his creatures. Let's get the Tomb Shell in. I mean, Ancient Carp also okay. We want Encase and Ice in. Even like the Weaponsmith Vial play is pretty good. I think we can cut Butcher's Glee. And I think Reduce in Stature, like just a point removal spell, is a little bit weaker than having a creature that could block multiple creatures. And I guess Updraft Elementals may be a little bit weak here. Like, it's good. I mean, it's good against red-black, like, weenie decks. But since most of his guys are, like, 4 power, it more, like, holds off a creature in the first couple turns and then trades with something. Where I feel like Custodian and Tomb Shell just, like, handle more of his threats. So I think I can cut that, but we could also just cut the Weaponsmith Vial. But I mean, Vial does seem reasonable against this deck. It does kill like 3 and 4 drops. He's got a lot of good things to hit with it, and Weapon Master being 1/3 seems reasonable. So yeah, I think I'll cut Elemental. And opponent concedes the match. Okay, cool. Get to take a little break. See you in round 2. Hi everyone, this is round 2. We're going to play first. This hand's fine. We got Palace Familiar into Interceptor, and we have Mountain with Pyrotechnics. So yeah, good start. Reduce in the Stature is fine. Just slow things down until we can get black mana, and up to 5 for Pyrotechnics. Hope this isn't Anafenza. Okay, well that's gonna get reduced and statured right now. Or wait, hold on. No, it still has the ability. Oh, this card. So dumb. Yeah, I'll just morph. Might just morph and pass. Like if he plays a creature and attacks for 3, this might hold him back a little bit. I'm only giving up 1 potential damage, which shouldn't matter. But yeah, turn 2 Anafenza is such a beating. It's happened to me a lot up to this point. So we'll see what opponent's going to do with it. If we get up to 5 mana quickly, we can kill it with Pyrotechnics. But it can cause a lot of damage in the meantime. So Mastodon. Okay, that's a good draw. Gives us black mana. Life doesn't hurt. I think I reduce in stature the Mastodon. And then pass again. So it's going to be hard. Like if opponent plays a creature, they're going to have to put the counter on the Mastodon, and then they can't attack with the Anafenza or the Mastodon if we leave back the Palace Familiar. If they have pump spells, they can just attack with Anafenza, and I'm not going to double block. It'd be way too likely in that situation if they'd have something. So they have Territorial Rock on Mastodon, and then could be another creature. Nope. Okay, just pass. And Bathing Dragonfire. So let's slam Anafenza, hope it dies. I mean, if Thorn had a pump spell there, you'd think they'd use it. Even like a Center Soul, you'd think they'd attack. So even though opponent is... Well, they're not stuck on lands. They actually hit all their drops. But I feel like there's a good chance that this is going to work. Okay. So that's that. If opponent starts dropping 5/5s or dragons, we could be in trouble. But our hand's really powerful otherwise. Hopefully it's just the rocks coming in. Okay. Of course, 5/5s. Alright. Let's get going. Yeah, guess we'll Drowner. Be nice to have the Death Fang out first, but we don't have time to wait. So let's get in with Familiar, go for Drowner. Probably searching for a land. Douse doesn't do too much. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna take Island. And pass. Take at least 6 damage here. Dromica Warrior. And we draw land number 6. Well, we don't currently have a great play against Elk Herd. We could pass with Command Up. I do sort of want to just play the Death Fang and just take a hit for 5. I think I'll do that. I guess I'm just not quite confident enough that Command's going to work. So I feel like getting just a little bit more on the board. And maybe make it a little harder for our opponent to own us when he attacks with Elk Herd. Just take 5 in the meantime. Definitely trade the 4/4 flyer for his 5/5 if I could, but it's going to be really risky to try to make a double block, so I'm just going to take this 5. But next turn we could double block, leave up Command. Should be very safe. Scale Lord. It's not something you want to leave around for too long. Might be forced just to pyro it. Potentially Interceptor could trade with it. Guess I kind of want to pyro it, then I have to take 5 from Elk Herd and then untap again. But I could get a big blowout, like if opponent goes for some kind of trick. So I think I'm just going to pass and hope to use Silmgar's command in a way. I guess like if opponent just attacks with Elk Herd and Scale Lord, I'm not fully decided how I'm going to react. I'll call for 2. That's going to give Scale Lord a counter. So it can cast it and can cast command. I mean, it gives him a 4/4, which is kind of annoying. So I can let this happen. This becomes a 5/5. If the opponent makes attacks, I could like bounce Scale Lord, -3, Elk Herd. Also interesting, he just wild called for 2. Could have done it for 4, so he's repping having something else. Which is not good news. Guess I could go like bounce what he manifests and minus one of the creatures that I block, but he's got that 2 mana up. I'm kind of worried about it. Could be another creature, but it kind of seems like it'd be a pump spell of some type. So if I do counter Wild Call, I can just like kill this rock, or I could minus Elk Herd to maybe buy some time. This is tough. This is a situation I'm having trouble with. I mean, if the opponent does have a pump spell in addition, it could be hard to win regardless. Alright, I'm just going to let this resolve. And we'll see what opponent does with attacks. And we have enough answers, even though I'm not seeing where this ends up being really good for me. Like, we have enough answers where opponent might make a mistake somehow and let us really get him with command. Where if we just go for command, it kind of wastes it. It's pretty much just going to counter the manifest and keep the Scale Lord at a 4/4. The opponent might even just pass here. No, they're going for attacks. So we can use command, bounce Scale Lord, minus Herd. Go block, block. See if opponent uses a trick and then bounce minus. opponent could have a trick, but I think we just have to make this play. Now, they didn't have the center soul before. They could maybe have. I mean, it hasn't seemed like they'd had pump spells this whole time. I'm just kind of wondering with like that 2 mana looks pretty iffy though. It is concerning. Because if they just had a random 2-drop, I think they'd go for a bigger wild call. And they do have center soul. That's a pretty annoying one. Yeah, just not much I could do there. Butcher's Glee is good. I think I pass. If we use Douse and Gloom to take something out, and then Butcher's Glee to take out the Elk Herd, could be fine. Opponent uses it on the Elk Herd. I was thinking they would just use it on the Mastodon, give it pro blue, so they'd get an extra 4/3. And the pro blue doesn't seem like it's going to be relevant here. This is kind of interesting. So put more fun Elk Herd. Oh, I can't block it with the Drowner. And I guess I'm gonna put Drowner in the 4/4 and then Douse and a turn, and then Pyrotechnics to kill his Enduring Scale Lord. Okay. That leaves me just about stable. I still have to deal with the Dromica Warrior. Oh, opponent has a different play. Captain and just pass? I think I gotta kill this. Surprised he didn't play Scale Lord. I guess maybe it's pump or a flip, but alright, it's planes. Oh, nice. That was really good. Okay, looks like we're just about back in it. Wow, wouldn't it be sick? No, that's not gonna happen. If I just attacked opponent block with just Mastodon and then I went for Minister, but opponent could just put Warrior on it. If they take it, they can take it afterwards anyway. So let's go with Minister. If we had a land next turn, we could go like Minister plus Pyrotechnics. That doesn't actually change anything. So never mind. So we're at 12. I mean, now we actually have a reasonable clock. So we'll sack the Minister. We'll get in for 4 with the Interceptor. And then we'll take 2 on the swing back. So we're actually racing reasonably well here. We're currently ahead on the clock. On our clock, I mean, as far as the race. It's a Pyro the Scale Lord. Vial, not a great draw. I'm just gonna Pyro this now. Like, I don't even want to trade Interceptor for Scale Lord. And I think I hold on to Vial. These for 5. I could draw some cards where I'd want to have it in play. Like Sidisi. Like, it could be a sort of surprise, get opponent to play something, but I'm just going to put it into play. I mean, if they play, if they play a 2-drop or they hold a 2-drop in their hand, it's not going to make much of a difference. Map the waste. So now it's definitely closer as far as the clock. And opponent can trade the rock for my interceptor at some point. And they might even want to just hold it back right now, or they could keep attacking. They have one card in the hand I don't know about, but they're holding it back, so this looks better for me. And I mean, I don't see yeah, I think we're better off just not making that trade. So holds back is 1-3, so I'm just gonna keep passing. I mean, it does mean if he draws a pump spell that it's worse. I don't think I have too much more removal in the deck. Emissary is good. So now if I draw an Exploiter, I've got something good to sacrifice. I think with Emissary I'm now favored. Yeah, opponent's deck's pretty nice. Okay, morph. I mean, I'm not going to hit that. It's very obviously going to flip into something good. Could be Bowmasters, Charger, the 4/5. Come on, need some spells. Sidisi would win it. Okay, Bowmasters, pretty rough. Don't think I can really take a hit from that. Could just block with the Emissary. Okay, opponent's just attacking with the T4, so we'll just take that. Not what I wanted. Could maybe attack with Interceptor here. Like, I wouldn't mind trading Vial and Interceptor for his Bowmaster. It's not great, though. If opponent takes it, I'll just block with Emissary, get a 2/2. Opponent be at 7. It's not super bad. Yeah, I think I attack. Opponent takes it. It might force opponent to just hold back their rock for a turn. They can get really aggressive, but then it's going to be a pretty close race. Like, if they brick for a turn, opponent attacks, I get to manifest something off Sidisi, or sorry, off Emissary. If I hit like a Sidisi, I could attack back for the win. So block. Just a swamp. Okay, one plays a 2/2. These aren't warriors. It's Odyssey. Very nice. So what can we get? Let's take a look at the deck. What do we have left? Silmgar Monument, I think. Butcher. Maybe Attendant. So we've lost a lot of stuff. No, we've lost Monument, we've lost Attendant, Bathe. We've lost pretty much all of our good cards. So we have a Douse left. I mean, I guess this isn't going to matter too much, but maybe we'd want to do something about the rock. So it might matter. We already have the Glee. Anticipate, Drowner, Butcher. Seems like Butcher is one of the best cards we have. Doesn't do too much. Might as well pre-combat this. I don't want to lose too much clock here. This is a problem though, because I'm kind of out of good stuff left. Sidisi's Faithful. Drowner, Douse. You could just get Douse, kill the rock, attack for 4, put opponent to 3. And then I'm going to have trouble finishing the game off. I could also, I think I could maybe get Faithful. This is tough. Just don't have that much gas left. Douse, kill flyer, put opponent to 3. Then I could attack with Sidisi, and yeah, I guess opponent has to trade Bowmaster off, then I'm good. So I'm gonna get the Douse. Attack for 4. Hopefully opponent doesn't draw a fatty. I can just pick apart his smaller creatures with Sidisi every turn. But I need a little bit of luck here because my deck is just does not have much gas left. Like, very little impact in the cards left in my deck. I mean, land certainly isn't what I wanted, so let's smash with Sidisi, and we just hope that we can keep eating opponents' creatures in time before they keep drawing big ones or answers, and so we'll eventually force them to block Bowmasters on Sidisi. And then we can get in with the Interceptor. That's really bad. Now this is going to be tough. I mean, we could still draw Silmgar's Butcher. That's kind of our out now. We have some card draw to find it, but like we go Butcher, pre-combat Butcher the Bowmasters, get in with the Interceptor. I think that's our... Yeah, that's game. It's a close one. But yeah, we don't have any outs left in the deck to win. Ruthless Instincts. Okay, so white-green deck, a lot of counters. Encase and Ice is going to be good. Contradict Might. Maybe Custodian. Maybe Tomb Shell. He has Inoffensive, but I think the Vial actually isn't that great. We'll cut the Weapon Master too. Reduce in Stature against Center Soul is pretty weak, so I think I gotta cut that. I think Contradict should be fine. And this looks pretty good. Grave Purge. I mean, if the game goes as long as it did last time, Grave Purge would be pretty good. Because we did run out of threats at the end. Yeah, it might be worth a shot. Custodian could also be decent. So I'm thinking Contradict or Updraft Elemental could go. Let's try Elemental. Okay, Sand's fine. I'll pick up the pace for these games now that we have to win 2 and our deck's pretty slow. So, let's just run out Interceptor here. Maybe opponent can go for like a Dromica Captain, we can get him with Minister. Or at least give him the opportunity. That's an Inoffensive. At this point, I'd rather just have the Minister to trade with the Warrior, because it's going to take an extra counter from opponent. At least potentially. I guess I could just attack with Drowner first. Or with Warrior first, and they could put the counter afterwards. So, what do we do here? Could go for Drowner, sack Interceptor. I guess if we find a mountain, we can Pyrotechnics that could get us out of this. So I think that's what I'll do. Wow. It's gotta be a CDC. Like, we could Grave Purge CC back eventually, but still, Bloodfell Cave still means there's like a full extra turn before Pyrotechnics. So I think we just need this at EC. So I have 2 sources left for casting the pyrotechnics. Would really like to draw land next turn. We gotta take the 4 so we have something to sack to CDC. Ugh. So I think the play is Minister. Let's block another turn. Like, going for Monument, I think we take a little too much damage. This gives us a potential double block on Warrior, or just trade Minister for Warrior. If opponent plays a creature, then we can double block if it's a 5/3. Or we can double block Anafenza if they put the counter there. I just hope to draw, and just hope to draw land next turn for Sidisi. We also have the command, which is going to be pretty good. Opponent has Morph. I should probably put the counter on Anafenza. Well, they put it on the Warrior, but that just means we double block, so didn't really accomplish anything. Like, I guess it takes out the 2/4 instead of the 2/3, but I think he'd rather have a counter on one of his guys. Ouch. That's bad. Yeah, I think we gotta go Monument to anticipate. Maybe take a big hit. You anticipate first, but we don't have much we can get. And we need the land, so. And I'm gonna anticipate now, because we could draw a Dismal Backwater. Wow, didn't get the land. These are all reasonable. I think, I mean, next turn we're going Sidisi. So, like, Butcher's Glee could be nice. Douse is decent. I'm not seeing a spot where we can douse. Opponent puts a counter on Anafenza. We could douse the Morph. But we're probably going to go for Sidisi first, so we're going to have to take a big hit maybe. And, like, Faithful is cheap, so we could maybe cast something else and it, but, like, Butcher's Glee could potentially gain a lot of life. So that's kind of exciting. Six minutes left. I guess I'll just go for Faithful. In case we draw land, I can exploit it away to Sidisi. I'm not sure if that's good, actually. It's tough. I'll go with the Douse. Opponent goes straight into attacks. It's not... Well, just with rock. Okay. Guess they're just stuck on 4-drops and bigger. Kind of weird. Oh, okay. They just want to... I see. The counter's going on Captain. So Swamp. So attack with Minister. play CDC. Attack with Mister seems relatively free. I mean, it sort of shows that we have CDC, but like if opponent is like double block, then we can Douse and Gloom or use command. So let's go CDC. So we can go for Mountain. I think we go for Ruthless Deathfang. So that can give us a nice engine. Command does a lot of what Pyrotactics might do, and then Deathfang also can block the rock. I think opponent has a good just attack with, or maybe not. I was gonna say attack with everything, but actually yeah, I think they're just better off attacking with that. It looks like we could recover here. We're still at 10. Our hand's incredible. I mean, opponent probably has some good stuff too. They just pass. Yeah, I think I go for Deathfang. I'm gonna start speeding up. Like, I really gotta. I'd love to sit here and go for optimal plays every point, but this could actually be a very long game, and we still have to win a third one after this. So I'm just gonna go into F6 mode and just try to make plays as quickly as possible. I'll try to explain as much as I can at the time, but a play like Grave Purge and exactly how many things to get with it and how to order them, it's gonna take too long to explain. So if I see a decent play, I'm just going to go for it and hope that it gets there. Opponent's on 5 lands now. I mean, if he doesn't do anything, attack with Deathfang. And, yeah, I don't know. Alright, we got to deal with that. It's actually kind of tough to deal with. We can bounce it, kill Anafenza. I'm gonna kill a Morph. I don't have time to think about this. I'll kill Anafenza. Oh, I guess we have Douse still, so we could kill the Morph. We could attack with both, maybe. Yeah, let's attack with both. Let's Douse the Captain. Then we have Silumgar Monument plus the Flyer plus Sidisi next turn, so I think opponent has to probably leave back their rock. And Grave Purge could get Drowner, Minister. So we could Purge for Drowner, make him sack. That doesn't seem that great. So at 4 minutes, I'm going to try to finish this off just really quickly. Activating Monument, attacking with both Flyers and Sidisi. Like, even if the opponent plays a 5-5, like, this is really bad for them. They probably have to play something different. Okay, activate, crack all. Let's play the island and then F6, and then F6 opponent's turn. It looks like we got it. Could somehow die to like a fog here. Hopefully not. Alright. We had Bowmasters, so we got 3 minutes 44 seconds to win against them. Our deck's kind of slow, but I feel like we could just run them over with a good draw. I mean, I know how to play Speed Magic, so I think this is doable. I don't think we need to mess up too much. There's a tendency to want to just put in all like aggressive stuff so you can win quickly. I still want to be able to set up control of the game, but something like Grave Purge probably should go out. Like it can take a while to even use, and it's kind of planning for a long game that I don't necessarily want to play. Like Skullkeeper could be okay. Maybe just updraft Elemental back. Mind Rot would probably be good in the matchup, but could put in an 18th land also. Kind of want to just have another creature though. Maybe updraft Elemental is good. Alright, let's go fast. No turn 2 Inoffensive, please, or turn 3, whatever it was that game. And yeah, this hand's very good. Opponent goes to 6. We don't have blue yet, but that's fine. Okay. F6. F6 opponent's turn. Guide as a 2/2. Sidisi, there we go. Now we're looking really good. So we want to hold on this Emissary, just take 2 from the guide, probably play Minister as a 2/3. Captain, I think we sack the Emissary here. F6. Okay, opponent has mapped the waste. They got a 3/3, get their second white. Oh, got black. Interesting. And then they don't have another land. I mean, I think I double block, or I take it. I mean, either one of these I think is worth that, so... yeah. It's close, because like, I do want to like, if he kills my next creature, then I don't have good stuff to exploit. So, I could just take it. Hopefully I draw like an island or something next turn. Or another creature. Island, good. I think I just play this as an 0/4. So we've got 2 good exploiters in hand. F6. So this is looking good. I wonder if that swamp is maybe something opponent, maybe they put in some kind of removal like ultimate price that they, I mean, I think they might splash it originally. So I don't know what it is. Alright, Salt Road Ambushers. We have a bathe for that potentially. Let's just go for Sidisi. Or we could just kill that. Hard to pass up Sidisi though. I think we'll pitch the 0/4. And Deathfang or Command? I think I'm going to go for Deathfang. That's kind of close. Like, we can't yet cast Deathfang, but I guess it doesn't really do anything with Butcher, so yeah, maybe I should just go for Command. But we've got a lot of removal right now. Okay, Bowmasters. Draft Elemental. I think I bathe here. It could be a little awkward for mana, but it's probably worth it. Like, if we go for Pyrotechnics, then we could go bathe plus Updraft Elemental with the land. But I think this is good. Alright, I'll just F6. This opponent's up to 5 mana. If they just pass, I'd be pretty concerned about Enduring Victory. But we haven't seen one yet. Could be a Reach of Shadows or Splashing. Frontier Mastodon. Okay, we got a Drowner. Let's attack with both, I think. A little more pressure. Opponent takes it. Let's go for Butcher. Sack the Manifest, kill Ambushers. F6. Could be a Center Soul, that's fine. Still got Pyrotechnics if they've got like a Scale Lord as their last card. F6 again, 2 minutes left. Bounce down to 4. I've definitely had matches where I'm like 6 or 7 minutes down, but by the end, my opponent ends up timing out. Yes, just take this. Well, maybe I block. Got Pyrotechnics. Could just win if I take this. Opponent could have that like untap get Death Touch block thing, so I'm gonna block. I guess I could have like Foul Tongue Invocation. That would be a beating. Wild Call for 3. Okay. So we get to smash. Opponent probably takes this. Doesn't want to chump with a 5/5, and then we kill him. Pyrotechnics to the dome. Boom. Alright, the Scale Guard Sentinels, they flipped. So on to the finals. That was a crazy match. That was quite difficult. And I feel like I might, like, that first game might have made a mistake with that Silumgar's command turn, but yeah, I don't know, I felt pretty good about that overall. I think there were a lot of tough decisions, and at least they tended to work out. So yep, that was round 2. Join me back for round 3. Okay, it's time for the finals. Gonna play first, Mollis, 1-lander. And this hand's Snap Keep. So I'm already playing faster because of that last match, when no reason not to just take my time here. So since I've got all this exploit stuff, I definitely don't want to be trading with the Sage. Well, this is where Emissary is quite a bit better than the Sage, being able to exploit twice off one creature. Opponent plays Morph. And we'll go Drowner. I guess let's stack it like this. So we get to see what the emissary puts out, and it's a mountain. Let me see what we get. Douse is good. Palace Familiar is good. I mean, I'm not going to have a great opportunity to just cast the Palace Familiar. And Douse probably does just trade 1-for-1 with the Morph. But I still feel like Palace Familiar with my hand is actually going to get me more value than the Douse. It'll be a little awkward. Maybe with the land I could play Palace Familiar and reduce and stash or something. Do a Lurker. Still awkward. I can go Drown or sack the Manifest. Actually, I can probably attack with both here. Opponent might trade more for Manifest, and that's okay. Okay, that's Odyssey. Let's take that. Definitely like another land. Valor's Stance. Glad that didn't kill Odyssey at least. Keep missing that land. Go reduce in stature on the Lurker. No, it has a counter though, so that only gives it -1 power. Yeah, this is pretty awkward. Let's keep missing these land drops. Just go for Updraft Elemental. Or maybe just Palace Familiar if I'm playing a Saxus CDC anyway. Guess so. Alright. It's pretty awkward though. I wonder if maybe the ability to cast Palace Familiar and another 3-drop makes me prefer to just sack one of my 3-drops here instead of the Familiar. Alright, draw's been so good for Mulligan, but yeah, just missing these last couple land drops is putting us pretty far behind. I mean, it still depends on what opponent has. If they don't have much else, then we're still way ahead. Douse and Gloom. Could maybe just cast that now. I don't want to wait till their turn. They get Pump Off Sage or something. They get to untap, maybe have Contradict. I guess Contradict, I'd rather they... I guess, first of all, they don't have Contradict. They wouldn't play Rock there, but even still, I think it's better to upkeep. I mean, their Sage gets pumped, but I can still probably block with Drowner. Assuming they have some kind of instant answer. Stratus Dancer. Yikes. That's a good one. So now Sidisi's probably too slow. Oh, I think I block with familiar though. So I can draw mountain pyrotechnics maybe. So can go updraft elemental, anticipate, take 3. So Sidisi's too slow. That Stratus Dancer could be really good against me. I feel like in future games I'm just going to have to destroy their morphs really quickly. Excuse me. Okay, go to 5. File. Kills elemental. And the anticipate could get us there to pyrotechnics. Soulfire Grandmaster. So command is okay. Deathfang is better. Can I cast it? I'm mana short. So I command, I kill the Dancer, I bounce the Lurker, I go to 4. Yeah, I think it's gotta be command. It's gonna be hard to deal with that Lurker. Either way it is, so yeah, I can't really go for Deathfang. Ooh, Pyrotechnics. I got a lot of red sources left. Well, no, 2. 1 untapped, not too many. I can't Sidisi, I'd die. Yeah, just go for command. So kill this, bounce Lurker. Probably just main phase. Ship the turn back. So if I draw Mountain, I can kill Lurker and Soulfire. And then use like Butcher to kill the rock. So I could be fine. Opponent plays a land, it's good. It's an island. So Morph's Lurker. Can go Butcher the Lurker. Assuming it is that, I think I should attack for 2 here. I guess I die or if opponent has like a counter, but contradict is pretty bad for me. Okay, still close. Go to 3. Cleric. Butcher's Glee. That's a card. So like, yeah, I think I attack here. Butcher's Glee, just gain life. Go for Minister. And the next turn, Sidisi, sack Minister, and go from there. I definitely have to kill this Soulfire at some point. Carsey Deceiver. Okay, that's a pretty blanky card. Let's go for Sidisi. Sack Minister. And then what do we get? Deathfang maybe? Could get Mountain. I think Deathfang. Wow, we have so little. We have gone through so much gas. Lieutenant's cool. I think, yeah, it's got to be Deathfang. Like the Mountain and the Caves are like the best draws left in our deck. Wow. So yeah, Deathfang. I did not think that we would be running out of threats so easily in this deck. But I think that Grave Purge, I don't think it should have been main, but like maybe I should have given it a lot more thought. Cool, 1/3. So let's see, play attack for 4, play Deathfang. I think that's best. It's a little risky if opponent, does draw into some spell they can get back with Soulfire. Like we could just kill it with Vile here, but I think we got to go for the dragon. We also have a Silumgar Monument too, so like that could finish up the game pretty quickly once we get one more land. Also, the Weaponsmith can help activate it. Reduce in stature on the Deathfang. Okay, we can still block as 1/3. Plays land. So this is like the last big decision of this game. We can attack with Monument and kind of force opponent to hold back Rock next turn, and then open up Mountain to kill with Pyrotechnics. Or you go for Vile, use it on a Soulfire so opponent can't, like, I don't know what they could draw, but some kind of, I don't know, something bad for us. Opponent is chumping if we attack with Monument. If it was Valor's Stance, it'd be pretty sick. Stuff like Whisk Away, Sand Blast. Those we can just like pre-combat kill it, or like Enduring Victory. Wait, whenever you sacrifice creature, start opponent's X creature. Well, if they make a sacrifice, guys, they do it too. They have to as well. Alright, I think I'm going to send the Monument. I guess Weaponsmith does make Monument cheaper on future turns if I just wait. But let's get it in there. Silk Wrap has no targets. And looks like we got it. There's the mountain. Would not want to have to show Pyrotechnics here. I mean, theoretically, there's probably some cards opponent could draw that could hurt us. I think I just Vial, kill Soulfire, attack with both, and then post-combat Roost and Stature is Deceiver, so opponent's gonna have no creatures in play. Alright, should be game. Okay, so opponent is Soulfire, Grandmaster, Valorous Stance, Vile Dragonfire, Stratus Dancer, it's a big one to consider, Lurker, some just kind of weak early drops, Silk Wrap, so I mean, they had some flyers and unblockable creatures. I don't quite want Custodian, even though it's good against a lot of his guys that are just small early drops. I think Contradict could be okay. Grave Purge could be okay. I mean, because it is so potentially powerful for the late game. But it's just, yeah, not very good early on. Let's see, Reduce in Stature. At least that game, a lot of the cards that he was playing had counters on them, so it never seemed to be that good. So I think we can cut that. This all seems good. Weaponsmith does seem good with Vial, because we want to take out his morphs. And then a Contradict could maybe come in. So it could be Contradict or Grave Purge. But the Grave Purge just seems kind of cool. Is like, I mean, if I'm gaining control of the game so consistently, dumping a bunch of stuff in the graveyard, like just having this somewhere in my deck seems kind of important. Or just having a counter. Alright, let's run it. Okay, solid hand. Ooh, nice. Okay. Do not draw Vial, please. It'd be so bad. Okay, face up Dancer. Maybe they're going Sandcrafter Mage Pump. We get to douse it. Yep. Or we could just upkeep search for Vial, play it, take a little extra hit. I mean, an opponent will know it's coming. Maybe if they have another Sandcrafter Mage, it could be annoying. I mean, it's not that likely that I actually just hit Vial here. I don't want to be too afraid of that. Douse is pretty good in this spot. Douse is a surprise, though. And this does work pretty well with our mana, but then we can't block the Sandcrafter, so... Alright, I'm just going to take 3, go for Douse, main phase. Yeah, I think so. Or... could wait. Let's do it now. Like, I don't know, opponent could attack and play some spell or something. But I don't necessarily want to give him an opportunity to use a pump spell here. So we'll just douse and plan to block the mage. It does suck if he has some way of killing this now. So opponent has morph. So we could upkeep, search, and then play Updraft Elemental, or just draw a card. I'm just going to draw a card. It's not going to be the Vial. Alright. Can't get too freaked out by very unlikely occurrences. If it happens, it happens. These plays where I haven't gone for Vial are significantly better than going for Vial, so I just have to kind of accept that and go with it. So, attack with the mage. Could be Enduring Victory. Kind of like just Updraft Elemental on the mage. And see what opponent does. Or actually, maybe it's okay to put the Weaponsmith here. We get to search out anyway. As long as they don't do both, because then opponent could kill the Elemental and then make a 3/3 kill the Weaponsmith. Okay, Kieran. They have a Vial, so I'm going to search now. Get my Vial. Oh, and Monument. So this Weaponsmith's going to do a lot of work this game. So 1, 2. Vial. Let's kill that. And 2, 3, Monument, and I think just pass. If the opponent wants to use Vial on, like, to kill the Updraft Elemental here, I think that's okay. I just pass. Okay, Bloodfell Caves. This is great. So I think we pass here. Could activate Monument, get in for 4. But I just want to keep a command anticipate, so let's just get in for 1. And I mean, we should pretty much have this game locked up at this point. Let's go for anticipate. Probably Drowner. Emissary is quite good too, but I think we just want to look through our deck here. for 1. Do I drown? I can drown, sack elemental. Can't keep up command for a turn, which is probably okay. Can't think of something that's like really scary. I guess Citadel Siege. But opponent had Soulfire Grandmasters, so they probably don't have Siege as well. They already had a first pick card from Fate Reforged. Could just wait another turn. I can sack Weaponsmith. This is a little annoying. It's really nice to get that 2 mana for the Monument. But I should cast something, so let's sack the Elemental. That's Sidisi. Deathfang would be fantastic, but you gotta go with Sidisi. Opponent could have a Valorous Stance. I might want to wait till I get up to 10 mana. Or I could just use the Monument to induce. Okay. They chose not to use Vial to finish off the Drowner. I think that's probably a mistake. So they attack for 3. Morph. So it could be Lurker. Draw another Drowner. So I think it's just time to go for Sidisi. Opponent just has 1 card in hand. It could be a Spell Eater, but I mean, if they have a counter, like, we're still looking great, so I think I'm okay with that. We could also just attack with Drowner first. I think that's fine. We have command up if something crazy happens. So I think we go for Deathfang. Oh, we got the Grave Purge. Oh, Deathfang's in Graveyard? Could go for Grave Purge, though. I kind of would rather just have that sitting left in my deck. So I could just get Bathe. Also, Dutiful Attendant. Salt Emissary is good. Maybe just go for Emissary. So I could use another exploit creature. Okay, take 4 from Interceptor. Soulfire. Dousing Gloom. Okay, let's attack with Sidisi, see what opponent does. Take it. Alright, I think I go Pyro. This seems safe. Negate would suck. But I feel like I could still beat a negate even if they have it, and that would be the biggest blowout. Just have one card left to beat negate. So it looks like we got it now. I think I might have played that like a little bit tighter. There are a couple plays there. Like that first spot we took Drowner over, I think, Sultai Emissary. And at the time we had like a 1-3 and a 1-4, so it seemed like we had enough fodder for exploit. I think then we drew another exploit creature and would have preferred to take the Emissary, but wow, that was a pretty awesome draft. Had some really exciting games in the second and third matches. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something about just playing a really grindy exploit archetype. And yeah, good luck opening Sidisi, getting past Silmgar's command. It works out pretty well. So thanks for watching. See you next time.